In this A Cabinet Vision Minute, we're going to talk about materials and vendors. No, not beer vendors. Vendors in Cabinet Vision. Alright, so materials and vendors. So let me see if I can peel this back. And I'm just doing this like you're watching me do a gaming show or something. So this is Cabinet Vision 2021. Alright, so I'm going to open a material manager. I got a lot of panel stock, so it takes a little bit. Alright, I'm going to go to 3/4 rift cut white oak. This guy. And I don't have a vendor in there, but so he says default vendor, there's not one there. So 3/4 rift cut white oak, no vendor. Let's get that dialog box up here. Alright, so we know that we can mess with the price, and we don't want to monkey with the sell price. All we want to do is monkey with the default cost, right? And some markup perhaps. That's entirely up to you. But here we can do, this is going to be I don't know how much this stuff is. What, 120 bucks a sheet. Okay, so that's without a vendor. But if you have a vendor for this, let's I'm going to go up to here to the vendor guy, push vendors, and if I don't have a vendor set up in here, Capital Plywood, they're good. Capital Plywood, and I want to bring them over to the left side of this screen. So now they're over here. Now it's giving me the cost, and each vendor can have its own SKU for that product. So I'm going to say their price for this is 180 bucks. And I'm not going to fiddle with markup right now, but so the default current vendor for this is Capital Plywood, and it should only be one to pick from because there's only one on the left side of the screen here. So now if I go back, so see, now it says that the default vendor is Capital Plywood and the default cost is such and such, right? The default cost is 180 bucks, and I can't monkey with that now because I've created a vendor. And I just want to show you again that we can have different vendors for the same product, but we always can list the default vendor there. Alright, so let's say that Higgins charges 140 bucks for that plywood. Now, even though they're cheaper, this isn't going to set the default vendor based on the lowest cost or something like that. There's no artificial intelligence here to tell Cabinet Vision how to manage these. So we have to tell it which one we want to be the default vendor. Well, Capital Plywood always has it in stock. Higgins doesn't, even though they're less money. And in my opinion, their quality is not as good. So I'm going to stick with Capital Plywood as the default vendor. Okay, so I'll close that, and so it has the default vendor there as Capital Plywood, and I can just as easily change that over to to Higgins, and now it says Higgins in there, and again, still can't monkey with that. So outside of the dialog box there, if I'm just in the material manager, we have the vendor guy up there, the little guy with the hard hat, and if we push that, then we get this a little bit different screen, and there you can add new vendors, or it doesn't give you the ability to copy a vendor, which makes sense to me. Why would you want to? But we can certainly add a new vendor. Nothing about any product there. This is just contact information, how to find these guys, account number and all this stuff. Real handy for your purchasing department. Now, are there is there a vendor report that will list all vendors? Yes, there is, and there even in the material summaries, you can print reports. All right, enough of this. I'm out of here. Hope that was helpful. Thanks.